All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a short one, but we're going to be talking about why FTX collapsed. And there's a bit of FUD going around that Kevin O'Leary is stating, yeah, the Shark Tank guy, that is stating Binance specifically and deliberately caused FTX to collapse. So I'm just not so sure about that, but I do believe him at least a little bit in terms of there was some competition going on for sure. Last week, the cryptocurrency exchange FTX filed for bankruptcy. This article is just a tad old, but it gets the point across. And its chief executive, Sam Bankman-Fried, resigned, a downfall that stunned crypto insiders and sent shockwaves through the industry. He has now been imprisoned. The collapse capped days of whiplash for FTX after its rival and the world's largest crypto exchange, Binance, pulled out of a deal to acquire the company. So on Thursday, FTX's new chief executive, John J. Ray III, say that one 10 times fast, said in a bankruptcy filing that he had never seen such a complete failure of corporate control. So it was one of the largest crypto exchanges. FTX filed for bankruptcy at the end of last week after Binance reversed course on a deal to save the company. The bankruptcy filing on Thursday by Mr. Ray, the new FTX chief, described numerous corporate missteps, including the use of software to conceal the use of customer funds. Mr. Ray also said in the filing that he could not trust the financial statements assembled under Mr. Bankman-Fried's leadership were even accurate. Again, FTX was just an absolute catastrophe. I don't even understand how they actually even constructed an actual working exchange. It was ran so poorly that to even be able to construct the exchange itself software-wise and make the website and actually have it functional is a bigger step in management than the rest of the how the rest of the company worked. So it's amazing. It's like you could build a bridge, but you couldn't manage your company's finances. That's basically what happened here. The savings of hundreds of thousands of customers who deposited their holdings on FTX platform are in jeopardy. So far, Mr. Ray's team has secured about $740 million worth of crypto belonging to parts of the FTX's business, a sum he called only a fraction of what they're hoping to recover. So the industry has long struggled to convince regulators, investors, and ordinary customers that it's trustworthy. The collapse has kicked off investigations by the Justice Department and the SEC focused on whether FTX improperly used customer funds to prop up Alameda Research, a trading firm that Mr. Bankman-Fried also founded. When the cryptocurrency market experienced a $2 trillion crash in May, FTX offered financial lifelines to several collapsing firms. Its fall has rippled through the industry. Leaders such as BlockFi and Genesis have announced pauses in operations. The price of FTT, a native cryptocurrency token for FTX, has dropped more than 90% since November 8th. The price of Bitcoin is down about 19%. Again, the article's a little old. Traders use FTT for operations like paying transaction fees. Last year, CZ, the chief executive of Binance, sold his stake in FTX back to Mr. Bankman-Fried, who paid for it partially with FTT tokens. Binance announced on November 6th that it would sell its FTT tokens that they were effectively paid in due to recent revelations. In response, FTT's price plummeted and traders rushed to pull out of FTX, fearful that it would yet be another fallen crypto company. FTX scrambled to process requests for withdrawals, which amounted to an estimated $6 billion over 3 days. It seemed to enter a liquidity crunch, meaning it lacked the money to fulfill requests. And on November 8th, Binance said it reached an agreement to bail out FTX by buying the company, but Mr. Zhao added in the announcement Binance has the discretion to pull out from the deal at any time. In a concurrent announcement, Mr. Bankman-Fried said the deal would protect customers and allow FTX to finish processing their withdrawals. And then on November 9th, Binance announced it would no longer buy FTX, saying it had arrived at the decision as a result of corporate due diligence. It also cited regulatory investigations and reports of mishandled funds. So Moving on here to Kevin O'Leary, Canadian entrepreneur and Shark Tank star Kevin O'Leary today slammed crypto exchange Binance and claimed it caused the collapse of FTX on purpose. Now, is he correct? I don't really know. I think this is a matter of a proper anvil does not fear the hammer, meaning that if FTX was actually solid enough, like maybe Binance or Coinbase or some of these other bigger exchanges, it wouldn't have gone under regardless of somebody selling off their native tokens or not. They were mishandling funds and mishandled the operation as a whole in a monstrous failure. But Binance definitely, by selling all of their FTT tokens and things like that, did help FTX in their liquidity crunch. And I don't know if that is a good or a bad thing or a moral or immoral thing to do, but they are certainly competition. And by selling off all of those funds, they definitely kind of helped push them over the edge. You know, hey, you're going over the cliff a little too slow. Let me push you along. And they kind of did. So is Kevin O'Leary right? I don't know. Everyone's kind of fudding on Kevin O'Leary because they say he doesn't know what he's talking about. And he also was a paid spokesperson of FTX. And there's plenty of videos just before the collapse. He's like, nah, that's a great exchange. You know what I mean? And then it goes under. So there's that as well. FTX, once one of the biggest digital exchanges on the planet, last month collapsed spectacularly, prompting lawmakers to think more than ever about how to regulate digital assets. The title of today's hearing was Crypto Crash, Why the FTX Bubble Burst and the Harm to Consumers. Today, O'Leary, who was heavily invested in FTX, told the hearing, I have an opinion, not the records. One put the other out of business intentionally. Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange, played an early part in the collapse of mega exchange FTX last month. Binance CZ announced that he would be selling the exchange's holdings of FTX's native token, a move that triggered a liquidity crisis. Days later, FTX files for bankruptcy. The exchange's bankruptcy trashed the crypto market, including several companies with exposure to the behemoth. O'Leary also argued for stronger regulation today, noting that FTX-owned derivatives trading platform Ledger X was the only entity that didn't go to zero following the crash because it was regulated by the Commodities Futures Trading Commission. Now, I don't know if he's correct in the sense that Binance intentionally put the other one out of business. I think it was, of course, in the best interest of Binance to put FTX out of business. The less competition you have, the more people that put funds on your platform and the more trading fees you get and the more successful your business. However, I think FTX was an absolute disaster, a trap house of an exchange. How they even managed to make a proper functioning exchange and then run the company so poorly and just trade everybody's funds and waste them all and take them and use them and then not even have a ledger of like who is actually working for the company. That I think that's the most amazing part of this. It's like I built a gigantic, functioning, wonderful metal suspension bridge. And it's perfect. You know, it works, it functions, it holds all the cars it needs to, you know, as they go across the water. But then my company is just run so poorly that I don't even know who's working for me. And I just use everybody's funds and I go to the Bahamas and waste them all. It's stunning to me. However, Kevin O'Leary, I mean, he's not wrong in the sense that, like, you know, by selling all of the FTT tokens, it did, you know, crunch a liquidity crisis. But I think all that did was make it faster. Again, I think FTX was already going over the edge, and it was sort of like here, I'll just help you go over a little faster. Let's just make this easier. I partially agree with Kevin O'Leary, but I think majoritively I do not. So that article's been going around quite a bit, and there's a lot of comments on that saying he doesn't know what he's talking about and stuff. He's just a shill, and he kind of is. But he's not wrong in that small little part, just that small little part, that they sold off all of the FTT tokens and caused a liquidity crunch. But intentionally, that's pretty subjective. Moving on to the Trump digital trading card. So I made a video on this. Was it my last video? I think I'm not even sure at this point. But Donald Trump, the former president of the United States, released a big swath of NFTs. It was like 45,000 NFTs. Some of them contained prizes. You paid $99 for one, and you got like some goofy, funky picture of Donald Trump in an astronaut outfit or a cowboy or him with a machine gun or something like that. And I thought to myself, oh, these are probably going to flip very quickly for a lot of money just because of the hype and because it's just Trump and NFTs. And there was only 45,000 of them. So he made effectively like $4.5-ish million on them. And during that video, I was like, well, I bet you on OpenSea, these are flipping for quite a bit of money. If you had bought one of these, you just made yourself some easy cash. In fact, if I would have known about these before they were all sold out, I sort of figured this all out before as they were sold out in the news and such. I would have definitely bought one. $99. I mean, what are you going to lose? $99? That's not too bad, right? So if it's any more than that, then you have a net gain, and good for you. And so I'd find it more likely that you would have a net gain than a net loss on this, and the maximum loss you could have is $99, which I can sure live with that. Certainly won and lost more in cryptocurrency over the years, haven't we all, boys, huh? Anyway, so it seemed ridiculous, and of course we've made fun of them, Trump's digital trading cards. Here's a picture of some of them. He's just sort of oddly standing around in a basic pose that they just sort of used over and over. One, he has a cowboy hat, and another one, he's got, I don't know, like a MAGA hat or something, and another one's a USA hat. Who knows? I don't know. There was a bunch of them. Not surprisingly, the prices almost steadily climbed, now having a 0.5 ETH for the cheapest listing. So, boom, exploded. So basically, you paid $99 for it, and now you're going to get what's half an ETH right now. What is ETH, like $1,200-ish? So $600 for a Trump digital trading card. I'd say that's pretty good. $99 to buy it, and then you get $600 for it, and of course a little fee for OpenSea, but we won't really count that. Once again, doing the opposite excuse me, of the sentiment of this sub has been profitable. The criticism cannot be denied. Buying these cards is pumping Trump wallets, which, yeah, it is. Not only on minting day, but also later, since he's taken 10% fee on every trade on OpenSea. I must admit, just like Gen 1 and Gen 2 of Reddit, this was too obvious, and I've bought one for 0.1 ETH. My explanation, I'll take money from Trump fans later, and that money sure won't be donated to Trump. Now, who of you doesn't like to talk about it, but bought one as well? I'm not going to get into the comments of those, but there was an update 1 hour after the beginning floor post. They are now at 0.84 ETH. So what, $900-ish? I'm not going to really do the math on that really too quick here. I mean, close to $1,000, and if you paid $99, so I definitely kind of called that one like in my head, like as just a guess, but yeah, I would have definitely bought one of these, whether you like Trump or not. Like that's, and we're not getting political here, not left or right kind of deal. But $99, basically 0.1 ETH to get 0.84 ETH. I'll take that deal anytime. Moving on here, BNB still not doing so hot because of the bad news. There's a little bit of kind of an attempt to rally. But that's about it. So just down for the most part. It's, like it says, it's up 5%, but for the most part, BNB's all-time high. It's pretty down. But however, with all the FUD of BNB right now, everything else is sort of down the same too. I mean, the whole market is down. This is down 15% in 7 days. While as a few others are as well here and there. But for the most part, it is suffering a little bit disproportionately to some in the top. I mean, Doge is too, but that's about it. $16,800 Bitcoin. We're still going down. I don't know when the bottom is. It depends on how fuddy things get here. But again, I still feel like we'll have a top, maybe probably end-ish of 2025, maybe summer of 2025. Who knows? Give or take a few months. around that period, because that is a little over a year after the 2024 Bitcoin halving. And, historically, we only had 3 halvings, which is not a very good statistical measure of just about anything, to be totally honest, only 3 events. But if you want to go off based off those 3 events, about 17 months later, Bitcoin typically is at some kind of reasonable all-time high. Somewhere around there. But that's all I have for you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. The video helps me out a lot. And as usual, I'll see you guys next time.